Hello and welcome to the latest adventures of Team Subtlety in questing for some chesting. To see how our adventures got to this stage, please make sure you check out the channel, subscribe, and make sure you hit that like button on your favourite adventures. Tonight, we're actually joined with the full complement of our entire party, so let's have some quick introductions. I'm Swalton, and I play the party's wizard. His name is Magnus. Joining me with me tonight is Westland Demon.
Hello, I'm Steven. I'm playing Adorable, the Eldritch Knight. Um, who's next? Who's next?
Yep. Next, joined by Slow J.
Hi, I'm Slow J, also known as OJ. I'll be playing the party's barbarian, Krusk.
Okay. Next is Kate Zilla.
Hello, I'm Kate Zilla, and I'll be playing Hidari, the Drow Druid of the group, who I can do an awesome wild shape on. Great fun.
Yep. Also here today is John C.
Yo, it's John C. I am the party rogue called Archie, and I'm currently trying not to get slaughtered by the rest of my party. Huzzah!
You do kind of deserve it.
Yeah, a little bit. Then finally, our healer of the group.
Hi, I'm David. I play Saba. I am the healer of the group and currently trying to make sure the rest of the party doesn't slaughter Archie.
Huzzah!
We are currently missing Codename B, who plays our Warforged Paladin Rusty, but he will be joining us in about 10-15 minutes. And I am Sovereign, and I am God. So, we need a recap. So does anyone want to give that?
Yeah, sure. I'll give it a go. So I think previous session we had just broken up the cult happenings in the prison depths. And when we went to leave, the rest of the cult were outside, and they tried to make us a deal: hand over all their magic swords, or they would kill a bunch of guards and attack the city. We chose to not give them the swords, which I think surprised the GM. And then they all left and started burning down the city. We called their bluff. It didn't really work. So they went back into the city, tried to stop them. Had a big old fight in the town square. A lot of civilians died. It's a bit unfortunate. So now we're going to try and, I think, beat a retreat and go back to the castle of our friend, I believe.
That's correct, Lord Trevor Belmont. And with that, we'll dive right in. So as you guys are carrying through the streets, you hear sort of sounds of battle in the distance. Every so often you hear screams, you hear burning, and overhead, you see a couple of the winged advocate knights fly overhead, but they don't pause to attack you. They just keep on moving. Xantu eyes them, and he turns to you guys and says, "I can still fight. I'm going back in. If you guys go back to Belmont, find out what you can. I'll meet you there."
Okay, we'll see what we can do and send support your way if we can.
He gives you a nod, and his axe still glowing. He turns round and runs off into the same direction after the knights. And you guys are free to carry on.
Oh, we should have gone to heal us before we left.
He might need that.
Perhaps you should have. Okay, so you guys carry on your way, unimpeded by any other cultists. You do occasionally see some soldiers running by, and every so often you'll see civilians kind of poking their head out of their buildings and stuff before retreating at the sight of you. And eventually you find yourself outside Belmont Castle, and I'll put the map up, and you guys should be on the bottom right corner.
Yep, there we are.
There we are. So immediately before you is the stables, and you do see two guards there. Along to the left is the main wall, currently quite heavily manned. Last time you were here, there was just a couple of patrolmen. But now the ballistas are manned, the guards are on all the towers, soldiers along the wall, and you see a couple of siege engines out at the front, and soldiers manning them. Also, there's currently a wagon just outside the front main gate, and currently only got a driver and a single dwarf in it. But there is a more heavily armored warrior, another dwarf, who's currently talking to the driver. What do you guys do?
He seems very familiar.
He does. I guess we want to go and speak to Lord Belmont, so let's go towards the entrance.
That makes sense.
I'm gonna go speak to the dwarf.
We should want to move our tokens, right?
Yeah, you should have control. Okay, so as you approach, the dwarf turns round and sees you, and he comes up to speak to you and goes, Wraith Slayers, right?
Yes, that's us.
Good, I've been told to keep an eye out for you. You're expected. Lord Belmont is currently out fighting, but he'll be with us shortly. And the wagon, they kind of saunters off.
Oh, into the...
Oh, sorry, that was just me getting rid of it. Yeah, but it heads off into the city, and you also see a couple more waiting just beyond the gate.
What are on those wagons?
Nothing. There was just empty. There was two, basically a dwarf in the back and a driver.
Where were they heading off to?
They're heading to the city. See if there's any injured people. We need to get them to safety. Any soldiers that need moving. We've got enough men out there, or as much men as we can get out there right now. This is just for evac.
Have we met before?
No, we haven't. I've met your friend, and he points to Archie. And help him get out of prison. I'm Dallin Ironbeard. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you too.
Nice to meet you too. And I'll glance over at Archie.
Are the Ironbeards the blacksmiths?
Yeah, they're sort of families, the one that run the major blacksmith operation here. I'll just move the rest of the party up. And so you guys are welcome to go inside. Someone should be waiting for you. He'll take you to the guest quarters. You guys look like you need to rest up. I'll let Lord Belmont as soon as he arrives, and I guess there's much to talk about.
Yes. We'll go rest and wait for him.
Okay. He kind of gives you a half salute as you walk past.
I salute back because I'm from a military background.
Yeah, I'll quickly ask him. As far as you can tell, these creatures, are they centered in any particular location, or are they scattered throughout the city?
They seem scattered, but largely within the Northern Territory.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, welcome in.
Perfect timing.
And here's Rusty to help us
Rusty,
fight.
our paladin. Seems scattered, but in the Northern Territory. It seems it'd been in waiting. We weren't expecting this, so.
So they had no interest in letting us peacefully deal with all of this then, right? We'll certainly let Lord Belmont know what information we have, and I'll follow Adorable inside.
Aye. And he steps outside, and he motions through the next wagon, and which just passes you by to talk, and he goes over to talk to you. Oh. Got a better feedback there. He goes to talk to the driver.
Cool. Guess we'll go into the castle.
Yeah, let's head inside. Let's get to Lord Belmont as soon as we can.
Well, he's out, so we'll have to wait for him to come back.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's get him. Let's be prepared for him. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just because this map's a bit bigger, I'm just gonna basically you head out through into the courtyard. You've been into this courtyard before, but once again, there's a lot of soldiers milling about, and there seems to be a couple of dwarfs that are setting up some ballista bolts and some other sort of defensive weaponry, and you pass on through, and you reach the manor house. And I'll now bring that map up.
Okay. In terms of the siege weaponry that we're seeing, is it mostly things like ballistas and catapults, or is there anything particularly like anti-air that we can see?
Yeah, there's not so much any catapults. It's largely ballistas, and also now I'm not entirely sure of the name of the weapon, but it's kind of a spear thrower type thing.
Like a scorpion.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a smaller version of a ballista, essentially.
Yeah, basically, they're ready for an air assault, not so much like sea.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Alright.
It's almost as if they know they fly.
Oh. Okay, so there should be a new map there.
Yep.
And if you want to put your tokens down.
Where are we, the left or the right? Or
It should be top center.
top center. Okay, just moving here. Let's begin the party.
Did I miss anything in my absence?
Not really. Basically, all you've missed is Xantu deciding to stay in the city and help the fight continue.
Good riddance to him.
Okay. So you pass out through the courtyard and you head up the steps towards the manor house. There are two guards currently standing just to the side. And 1 second, Kate. And yeah, they see you approaching and they say, welcome, we've been told to expect you. Just head on through. Your ally should be waiting for you in the main hall, or the entrance hall.
Cool.
Okay, let's go.
Yeah.
In we go. Oh, suddenly a wild Hadari appears.
How have you been?
Is that
Anybody
Hadari?
seen Archie?
I think he chose to stand outside. I think he's enjoying not being stuck in a small space.
Archie got lost again. Oh,
Never
there he
mind.
is.
There he is.
He's dawdling.
Just taking his time. There's no shackles in here, as far as we can tell, Archie. Come on.
Okay, so you enter in and you are reunited with Hadari. And there's a couple of soldiers standing guard in the main hall, the entrance hall. One of whom approaches you, and you will recognize this as Lancel, the soldier you guys helped save during the Wraith's ambush.
Oh, that dude.
Yeah.
Hadari, where are the prisoners?
Hadari would be able to tell you that the prisoners were basically taken further into the castle.
Thanks,
Are they
Hadari.
fortified?
They'll be secure.
Good. Any more issues as you left the prison?
None. They were with a sort of heavily armed escort, so anything that kind of came in range was driven off.
Okay, that's good to hear. And I hope your throat feels better. You sound quite different than last time we spoke. Anyway, Hadari, ready to kick ass and take names? Hadari? Kate, are you there? Okay.
Oh my god, I was chatting the whole time thinking you guys could hear me.
Classic Kate.
Okay.
That's
Classic
like
Kate.
cards. Oh
It
my god.
happens
It's
at least
so
once a
painful
session.
that that's the point.
Yeah, I don't think we've not had a recording yet.
No, I thought I don't know, you disconnected or something. Like we opened with "How's it going?" and just silence.
Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, Hadari's pissed off at Magnus for something.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, she's letting Liam do it. That's fine.
I assume she'd be letting you do some of the stuff because she might not know the answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was replying, and then like Liam said the exact same thing that I just said. So I thought, oh, maybe he's just repeating it for everyone.
Well done.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I was like, okay. Well, we're unmuted now. I now know that.
Yeah, well, so that could be a thumbnail, bit of video.
Wait, oh, I was chatting and no one heard me. Oh. Yeah, we can get a wee thumbnail going on there. Yeah, we should get like a bloopers reel going on. Yeah. Anyway, Hadari, ready to kick ass and take names?
Yes, of course I am.
Okay, good, because I need a nap. Can you go out and do that? And
We can all nap. Go away.
okay, good.
Myself. I need Rusty to feed me.
So at that, the soldier Lancel approaches and says, "I've instructed you to show you some to the guest quarters."
Did West Waters.
Archie, be nice.
I've been through. I've had a hard.
Stuff to sort it out.
I've had a hard day. I'm sorry, and he will go through the doors to your left, and
Oh, I follow him.
Yep. Let's follow him. Yes, Abel, we can all just collapse into a very comfy bed as soon as we know what's going on, and we make sure Lord Belmont is doing what he can to protect the city.
yeah. So
Clearly, the Tepes guards are not on our side.
And neither are the Tepes family.
Exactly.
So soldier leads you in, and Lancel says, "This is normally a waiting area, but currently all the guest rooms are being taken. This is the best we can do for you right now. But I hope you'll be comfortable. And if you need anything," he points to the door just to the south. He says, "That leads to the mess hall. We can fix you up with anything you need."
Us, what are you doing?
Krusk, leave the nice dwarf alone.
The dwarf smiles up at you, Krusk.
I want to ask him a question. Is it true that dwarves have 7 toes on each foot?
It is, laddie.
Can you show me, please? I don't believe you.
He goes, "Aye, no problem." And he sits down on the stair and pulls off one of his boots and roll perception.
Interesting.
Where are you going with this?
Good thing I have proficiency.
I don't think we want to know. Oh.
Right, so you basically see the dwarf has 5 toes, but he's basically got 2 of his fingers just next to his foot. And he's like, "See?
I do it.
Easy, huh?"
Okay, I stroll up to him
Okay.
and ask if he wants a pint later on,
Aye.
because that was a good joke.
That sounds good. What's your name, lad?
My name is Krusk. What's yours?
They call me Garth.
Garth. A good name. A
Thank
fine name for a strong man.
Agreed. I appreciate your name too.
Yeah, we shall drink later.
Sounds perfect, lad. And he gives you a nod and he puts his boot back on.
Well, Garth's
And
gonna die. That's
I'm gonna
awful.
go join the rest of the party.
I was expecting Cross chopping this off.
Cross, that's really nice to see orcs making friends with dwarves. Nice.
I've never seen a dwarf before.
So your kind hated stunties.
Lancel kind of looks at you and goes, "Aye, usually we see quite a lot of people in the city. It's pretty multicultural. Is there anything else I can get you before I head off?"
If you can get us a quick update on how the city's faring, that'd be useful.
Oceans.
Yeah, no problem. From what I can tell, so far, there's some destruction of property. Don't know the death toll yet, but we managed to get some men into position ready, and we saved quite a lot of lives. You guys included. You helped secure the marketplace, and that's a great fortified place. So it could have been worse.
Could be. There shouldn't have been any attack at all. We need to make sure we root out these advocates and take them take them to justice.
This is the Tepes family. They need to be brought to justice.
They do.
That's a pretty bold claim. I'm not saying I don't believe you, but we will need evidence if we're going to bring them to justice.
We'll bring you some severed heads. That'll be justice enough. That'll be proof enough.
He kind of squints at you a little bit, and then kind of just nods and goes, "Aye, fair enough." And
he sprouted wings.
It's like we'll get a far more detailed report together quickly for Lord Belmont. In terms of equipment we might require, any kind of rejuvenating potions you have on hand would be very well appreciated. We spellcasters are a little bit drained just now, and a few of our fighters have taken a few bumps and bruises.
I'll see what we have. Obviously, we do need things like that for the men. I'll see what we have spare. I've also been told to say, sorry. I'll send them to you, rather. Arterius Sterak wishes to see you. He's one of the minor nobles. I'm sure he'll be able to get you outfitted with that sort of thing. And he gives you a nod and says, if that'll be all, I'll see you soon, I hope.
Actually, I have 2 questions.
Yes?
First one, are there any court concubines? Second question, if not, can hand lotion and tissues be sourced?
Make sure they're ethically sourced paper.
I thought you used to rag first.
Lancel just blinks at you and then kind of dumbfounded, and then he just turns round and walks out the room.
Okay, I'll follow him out the room and just shout to him, I'll be discreet. And then I'll walk.
I'm gonna take one of the pillows from the far side of the room, since I don't need an actual bed to rest, and just hand it to Krusk after taking the pillow out of its case and give him the pillowcase. Be like, okay. There you go.
Thank you very much. I do like a doubly wrapped pillow. And I go and put the pillowcase on my pillow.
Okay.
That already has a pillowcase on.
Fair enough. Just as Lancel's left, can I quickly rack my brain to remember where I've heard the name Arterius Sterak before?
Yeah, actually, you will have met him underneath the Crafty Kobold in Astora.
Yep.
He was one of Terrell's allies. And he oversaw your interrogation of Hedron.
Perfect. Okay. And Hedron was one of the heavily armored men.
Yeah, he was one of the Hands of the Dragon, as they call themselves.
Excellent. So I'll remind the rest of the party of these details and say, so he's clearly on our side. He's one of Terrell's allies, and he's helped us. He's seen how we've treated the ringleaders of the Advocates. So hopefully he'll be able to support us.
While I'm besting, can I examine Venon's falcon?
Yes, of course. Are you guys taking just quick, are you having a short rest, or are you taking a long rest?
Long rest, if possible.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. You do have the time for that.
How long do we think it will take for Arterius Sterak and Belmont to be available?
Belmont may be a bit longer, but Arterius could be very soon if you wanted to.
Okay, I'll quickly just tilt my head out to the guards and see if Lord Belmont becomes available, please let us know. And then I'm going to get my head down and try and get some rest to recoup my magical strength.
Okay, not a problem. Okay, so you are taking time to sort of inspect the sword, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Could you roll me a wisdom saving throw?
Wisdom saving throw. Not Arcana or Intelligence. Oh well.
Okay. Sure to that. Nothing seems to come to mind at the moment. It seemed, from what you can tell, it's very similar in style to Ezlith.
Mm-hmm.
except from really the only main difference is instead of a golden handle, it's actually more of a sort of brass metal, and instead of a red stone for eyes, it's 2 green stones.
I see. Okay. I recall that Venan had a sword case in his little hideaway.
Yeah.
I assume this sword would also match that case. Or can I tell?
If you need any help with the sword, having the experience with Izalith in the past, I would be willing to offer assistance while you look at it.
So, sorry, you're what was it you were asking for,
I
Callum?
was asking, does it still? Or do I think it would have fit in the case?
Yeah. If you still have the case, it's basically it's almost identical to Izalith in shape and style.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll wrap it back up in my bedroll and put it back in my pack.
Okay.
If it sounds evil, I don't want to really be touching it.
Fair enough.
That's actually the right call in this case.
Then beckon Magnus over.
Yeah, I'll sleepily wander over and have a wee look at it.
Oh no, not look at the sword. I pull out Venan's head. What should we do with this?
Well, now that we actually have a little bit of time, could I try and investigate it just to see if there's any lingering magical influence, and will that interrupt my long rest?
Of course you can. I'm going to say no. I'm just going to say you guys haven't started the long rest yet.
Cool.
Yeah. Though, just a quick question. You guys took you cut off Venus' head, but you also took the rest of his body, and you also
incinerated that.
You incinerated the rest of his body, so you have his head, and you took the ascended cultist's body, right?
Yes, we still have that corpse with us.
Yeah. Okay. So I take it you just dumped it in the room you're in right now.
Yes,
yeah, pretty much. I've just popped it next to my bed.
Right. No worries. Cool.
Do you want to put it on one of the spare beds?
It's gonna be a good prank on one of the guards.
Put it on the one that I already took the pillowcase off of.
Yeah,
Right.
let's plop it on the extra bed that Rusty's left us.
Okay, which one was that?
Put it on this one.
Yeah, cool.
Cool. Right, we'll plop it there, and I'll kind of examine it to try and work out again what influencing factors are in there. Is there anything that we could use to trace it back to Belmont or any other obvious magical source?
Let's take it one at a time. We're looking at Venan's head first.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Venus head. Yes, sorry.
Okay,
Venus
so
head, same
roll
deal.
me Arcana.
Both of us, or him,
Actually,
or one of us.
Just Magnus, because he's the one that's gonna look at it.
I could use your assistance with this if you want to help.
I would love to.
Adorable.
Okay.
Okay, and then I'll roll that and take advantage to 21.
Okay. So you feel a small lingering scent of magic, but it's still fading.
So he was a necromancer.
Yes.
Knows how to bring things back. Is there anything we can do to stop him from coming back?
Well,
Do we know of anything?
Burn the body.
You don't know. But you kind of assume that you've destroyed his body, and normally, unless he was a lich, there's not really any way to come back from that.
Yeah, as best we can tell, if he doesn't have a phylactery or anything else that's kind of anchoring him to the living worlds, he should be properly dead at this stage. Unless I think the lingering magic presence, is that just his magic slowly withering away into nothingness?
Pretty
Then
much.
right.
That's the feeling you get. Yeah.
Okay. Is a fireplace in here?
There is not.
Is that an ashtray in the top right hand corner?
That's just actually just a little like end table.
Right. Okay. If you want to do the same,
There will be a
as we did-
fireplace somewhere in here, though.
Yeah.
I want to
We should ask
inspect
a guard.
the painting.
Yeah.
I don't want to give it in case they're part of the cult and take it back.
Yeah, that's interesting. Is there any way that we'd be able to say use thaumaturgy or some way to take like almost like a picture of the head, and then we can destroy the item itself just to add to the case.
You could freeze it with your freezer.
I could draw it for you. I've got some skills in that regard.
Yeah, I'm not really sure if you could use thaumaturgy to record it.
Yeah, that's...
unless you were.
So are you guys trying to make a headshot? Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
How'd you get the
Rusty
fuck out?
actually has paper and charcoal for this
Archie,
exact
do you have a disguise
purpose.
kit?
It's not the fact that we want a picture of it. It's to show that there's evidence that we had this head in the first place. So if we do destroy it and someone asks us, we can say, well, yeah, we had it. Here is something that can't be doctored, whereas a painting would be
Do you have a disguise?
something we can do.
Okay.
Sorry, Archie, do you have a disguise kit?
I should do.
Do you want to disguise yourself as Venom?
Oh, that could actually be quite useful for you to have that knowledge. Because you just need to look at his head for a certain amount of time and you should be able to get enough of a feeling to be able to disguise yourself as him.
That's a fair point.
That may be
That might
useful
help with interrogation, actually. Throw you in the cell with them.
Yeah. Archie, catch. I toss the head out.
Okay. So Archie, if you're going to try to disguise yourself as Venom, you would roll me a straight intelligence check.
Okay.
So that would be just a straight 1d20 plus your intelligence modifier,
Oh.
plus your proficiency bonus if you are proficient at disguise kit.
There we go.
Okay. Whilst that's going
Yeah,
on.
so
sorry.
that
John's not
painting-
rolled yet. My bad.
That painting is basically a very foreboding fortress on top of a hill.
Exciting.
Interesting.
Is it a well defended fortress?
Yeah, it's in a very good, secure position. Armies would break before they stormed this place.
All approved.
Is there anyone in the photo? In the picture?
Not that you can see.
Look closer.
If you like looked closer, you'd probably see a couple of smudges. It could be people in the distance manning the walls.
Don't give him that. You know what he's going to use it for.
No.
I mean, I hadn't even thought of that, but thank you. What I was going to say
A
was
smudge is enough for him.
the brush strokes are incredible, and this oil on canvas is outstanding.
Oh, okay, Cross.
Are you a fan of fine art, Krusk?
I had a single painting hung up in my room in my master's house. It was the one thing that I could look at to take away the pain.
How do you know that if you've only seen one painting? How do you know this one's good?
He's had a long
I
time
was
to look at that
told.
one painting. Yeah. What was the painting of that you were able to look at?
A very beautiful woman.
Oh,
Was it
that's
your
why you're
mama?
so excited about this one.
Okay.
I mean, that's fine art, really.
So, just
She
from
held a baby in
Archie's.
her arms.
That sounds amazing. Just from
The
Archie's.
baby was an orc.
check.
Okay.
She was a human woman.
Just from Archie's check, as you turn around and look at Archie, he's made himself look quite a lot like Venom. The only discernible difference is that Venom had sort of a white hair, and Archie still has his sort of dark hair.
What's that spell that Saba has that can change colours of his eyes? Can you use it to change Archie's hair?
Thaumaturgy?
I don't know if it would necessarily be able to change the color of his hair. Let's
No,
see.
I
What's
think
no one
I
touches
don't
the hair?
think I can use. I don't think I can use that on other people.
Okay, never mind then. We'll get
Um,
some like ash out of a fireplace or something.
We
before
could
it is.
certainly find enough stuff to add to the kit to make him dye his hair.
Get some bleach.
But my hair is
Or-
beautiful.
Actually, better
Didn't you
idea.
just take the head and grind up the bones in the head to make like a white powder?
Why don't you just shave the head and take the hair off and use it as a wig?
Yeah, all I'm hearing here is, guys, we have to scare him enough to give him a white streak of hair, and we can make that work. We can make that happen.
Archie, can you make a wig out of Lena's head?
I should try.
God, you are full of talent today, Archie. That's a good skill.
Okay, so considering you're pretty much scalping him, roll me survival.
Well, he's just cutting the hair off.
I'm just
Okay.
trying to survive, damn it.
If you just cut the hair off, it wouldn't be attached to anything.
Yeah, but then you, like, stick it to his head.
That's harder work than it needs to be. Yeah, so you managed to pretty much get the scalp off and a few awkward angles, but you're sure you could cover that up with your disguise kit.
This is gonna be the most terrifying disguise ever. I can just imagine him interrogating someone, like his wig falls off, so it's, like, off someone's head.
It's like, look how angry you made me. My hair fell out.
Jesus Christ! Right. Should we poke at this corpse?
Yeah, let's have a little investigation into this corpse as well.
Good job, Archie. Yeah, that's perfect.
That is an impressive disguise you have there. That could be really useful coming up.
Thank you.
As best I can tell with the corpse, can I kind of investigate it? So I remember this is basically the closest, the most effective experiment so far. Is that right?
Saba, can you lend your medical eye to it as well?
Yeah, this would be quite useful to have your eye on this, Saba.
Sorry, say again?
Can you come over and give me a hand examining this corpse? I want to find out what's different between this one and the previous ones, and if there's any kind of trace or evidence that we can use from it.
Sure thing. Always a pleasure. Saba was just trying to nap. He gets up, looks over at Archie and says, "The fuck did Archie go?" And walks over to help Magnus.
I thought we killed you.
Oh,
Is
she back again?
Yeah, he's cool now. Don't worry about it. He's cool now.
Okay.
No problem, guys.
Okay.
Then
Yeah.
you can either roll me a nature or arcana check. Saba, you can roll me a medicine check.
Take Arcana. Ooh. How about you, Saba?
Now, I'm still a little bit woozy from the fight before, but I think this man might be dead.
Magnus have.
Sorry, can you say that again? It's getting quite scratchy on the mics.
Oh, well, whilst he was asking who had the teleportation necklaces, you
Oh, right. Okay.
Magnus.
I do. I have the teleportation necklaces.
Okay, so
Who's doing
My-
something in the mic?
I think it might be David, but I'm not entirely certain.
No, I can hear it as well.
Okay.
Right.
Right.
Kate?
Oh,
Oh no,
Chris.
it's Ben.
No, it's not me.
Oh, is it me? Sorry.
Yeah, no worries, man. No, it's I think you're eating like a packet of crisps or something.
I'm having a pizza, but
Oh, okay. That is a good reason to making some sound in the background. It's
Okay.
like burning
so
some cities,
Magnus,
eating some pizza, good times. Yeah, yeah. Sorry.
you can't really tell much about it that you don't already know. There is a slight magical aura coming off it. Saba, you take a look over it, and you can. The exterior is obviously no longer human, but when you kind of check the blood and sort of look inside the wounds, you can tell there's still quite a very human interior, but there's something quite off about the blood.
I was just about to ask, was he human on the inside? I guess we don't need to cut him open now. Unless Saba wants to do an autopsy.
So Saba, what's your take here? If he's human on the inside and very changed on the outside, is there any way you can think of that we can help turn him back?
Well, nothing comes to mind.
What
Does it?
What does your god say?
So from basically what you can gather is the body was still changing when they killed it. So you're not entirely certain because you haven't seen the final result.
Okay. That's interesting because I still have a sense of magical influence here with the outer layers. So maybe they must have.
God's got back to me.
Your gods. Oof, that's a unique deity. Yeah, as best I can tell, then so their magic isn't immediate. It's a transformative process.
Well, I mean,
the gradual
you saw
process,
how
rather.
useless he was in the fight.
Go. Yeah, so transformative sort of magic was in place here. From what Saba can tell, the transformation wasn't quite complete.
Well, I hope we could tell that from how shit he was during the fight.
Yeah, he did go down, but you put a lot of damage into him. I wonder what he's meant to be like when it's finished.
Probably
And
something along the lines of the Wraith.
that's a
Presumably
terrifying
something
thought.
like the big giant guy,
Like the
bigger
big
and
Wraith.
gianter.
Yeah, like the Wraith. The thing we murdered.
Yeah, okay. We need to get onto these as quickly as possible to try and deactivate, to try and stop these creatures being made again. This is one more life that the Advocates have taken, and used the abuse of magic to force these monsters out.
We should probably get rid of this corpse too.
Could be an idea. I mean, we could have a little bit of fun with it before we dispose of it. And I'll start gathering the sheets together, and I'll basically make it look like he's just sleeping underneath the covers. And I'm gonna maneuver his face into the most terrifying like snarl that I can, with it still being kind of limp. It's like
I thought you were going to use like reanimate corpse or something there.
I mean, that would be useful, but I am exhausted and not in the mood for necromancy, brother.
Never.
I would appreciate if you guys can leave the necromancy. It's kind of an abomination against nature.
I agree.
Some necromancy is only
Misuse-
puppeting the flesh, it's not bringing them back. But yes, this would not be the time for necromancy. This is bad necromancy.
Let's have our rest.
Anyway, let's regather our strength whilst we can.
Just keep it quiet.
Okay.
Okay, so you guys then have your long rest.
I'm going to give Aramin some orders just whilst I'm sleeping. If you notice Krusk having a lot of movement around about his crotch area during our rest, it's probably a field mouse. So strike it quickly. It may be trying to bite Krusk, and then I'm gonna go to sleep.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
You asshole.
I don't actually need to close my eyes for this sleep, so I'm actually going to watch Krusk and make sure he doesn't get up to any nonsense.
Oh, voyeurism, nice.
I don't understand what you think I'm going to do with hand lotion and tissues.
I've seen how
haven't got
how
them
much
yet.
ingenuity you have. I've seen how smart you can be,
Where was
Krusk.
all this security when Grimax was GOing in my shoes?
You weren't there. That was a different elf.
Oh, they all look the same.
I'm saying that as a player.
Well, you obviously didn't have enough paladins then.
Yeah, the party was
needed
more
more paladins.
chaotic neutral at that stage.
How do you whisper to the GM again?
So
We
you should
were
just
literally-
Slash whisper space.
yeah. Just
Oh,
type
yeah.
in, yeah.
David, you're being too meta.
We were literally murder hobos back then, weren't we?
Pretty much.
No, I think Grimax was an outstanding member of society.
And then he got burned to a crisp.
Grimax was an outstanding member of society. Quote from Grimax.
The unbiased opinion of the god figure of your.
The unbiased opinion of Ego.
I mean, Bahamut did come to his death, so that's impressive.
Yeah, to make sure he stayed down.
Oh. That's upsetting to hear.
Magnus just had a bit of an unrestful sleep, thinking about dragons now. No, I'm kidding. Grimax died a hero's death. That'd be it. We sleep. What happens when we wake up? Or does Archie snap and murder us all in our sleep?
So basically, as you guys are starting to rise as the sun begins to rise, you hear the door slightly open, and then you hear a voice going, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" And as you pull up, you see Arturius Sterak, who you've met before, and he is just looking at the corpse you've left in the bed.
It's like, morning, Arturus. How's it going?
Is Archie still wearing the scalp of somebody?
Yes, yeah. And Archie is still dressed as a Phenon. So
please tell me the scalp's falling off his head a wee bit.
Just is a little lopsided.
Why is there a musty at the foot of my bed?
Why is there
I came to pet the dog.
Oh, okay. The dog's on the bed.
Arturius's hand is kind of on his dagger, and he's kind of like, "What the fuck is going on?"
We needed a place to store it. I was like, what are you doing uncovering someone in their sleep? That's rude.
He just looks at it and goes, I'm sorry. What the fuck? Right. Hi, guys. I've been sent to get you guys, bring you to the meeting room, and he's kind of avoiding looking at the corpse in the bed.
Right, I'm gonna go to the corpse and just pull the covers over its head, and then using my charcoal, write "Do not disturb" on the bedsheet.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
Archie, do you want? Oh, not Archie, Saba. Do you know any like last rites to provide this poor soul? Archie murdered, and then we murdered again.
Say that again.
Do you have any like last rites you can give to the corpse?
The draconic-ish guy that tried to kill us.
Yes.
Maybe. I mean, before that, he was a man who Archie murdered.
He was an innocent man. He should have his final rights.
Okay, I'll see what I can do. Here
Don't
lies,
you guys know what "Do not disturb" means?
Yes.
Here lies man, half of man.
Did you just assume his gender?
Archie
Here
was
lies
a man.
person,
You
half
killed him.
person.
You know he was a man.
Did you just
Here
assume
lies-
his species?
Here lies this, half of this. His.
Did you just assume his?
Shut the fuck up.
I'm gonna mage hand over Archie's mouth.
Here lies the lying. Yes. He was once a man. He unfortunately is not. That right was taken from him. He's definitely in a better place because this shithole. Rest in peace.
That was beautiful, Saba.
Thank you.
Arturius kind of gives you a clap.
Archie, that's not an excuse to go and kill more people just because this place is shit.
Yeah. Do we know the man's name, Archie? Gesturing at the ascended corpse.
No.
Okay.
Oh wait, was this the guy Archie killed?
Yes.
Yeah.
I lost
He-
him.
His
Okay.
body's been twisted.
Additional. He came to a sorry end when Archie stole his money, then held him at knife point, demanding the money from him that he stole. And then once the man could not provide the money that was stolen from him, he was killed. And then
No,
he
no.
got...
The first guy had money. The second guy didn't. That's why I killed him.
No, it's the same guy.
Archie,
it's
you know how
different
you've been redeeming
That was all
yourself?
the
You're not
same
doing a good
guy,
job
Ar-
here.
Just to point out that Saba, you wouldn't actually have known that information.
Archie told me all about it. He probably...
Wasn't our man watching though? So we would actually have known if
Yeah.
it was relayed to us.
Oh, okay.
You don't get into this way too much.
On the way over, Archie was like, and so this is what I did, and I'm looking at him the whole time like, you should not be telling people this, Archie.
No regrets.
Decent.
Okay,
Well,
so
Right,
Arturius.
and rest in peace.
not Venom. What's his name?
Arturius.
Arturius?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kroska, did you have a good night's sleep?
I did actually. Slept like a baby.
Good.
Okay, gentlemen. If you'll follow me, I'll take you upstairs to the war room.
Okay, lead the way. Just so you're
Sounds
aware,
like my
the body back there. If we can find out who his family was, he was an innocent civilian in the city before he was twisted by the advocates. If we can find his family and let them know, just so they're not left in suspense, that'd be good.
Yeah, we'll do our best, and I'll have someone deal with the corpse and start setting up.
Okay.
Quick question: the guy we rescued, didn't he used to be a dragonborn?
Which one?
No, that was someone else.
Oh, that's fine. Carry on.
We saved
you
a lot of
think?
people.
Yeah, were you thinking of Taral?
Yes, I was thinking of Taral.
Taral disappeared. What happened to Taral?
He came with Hadari when you guys when you guys split up. So he would be somewhere here.
Are we going to be seeing a different map?
Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
yeah,
I
different.
have two different maps for the two different levels of the house.
Okay, up we go.
Yeah. And I'll just post everyone.
Oh, you missed me.
Oh no, I missed you. Yeah, but that's easy. You can just be yourself.
Adorable, where are you? Oh, he's back. He's back. I am also currently missing. If you can copy me over.
You're right in the front.
Oh no, never mind. Magnus is currently a little bit tipsy. He was very beaten up yesterday.
Interesting. Krusk.
Okay, Cross, just to let you know, so you were in the process of removing the painting from the frame. Basically, when everyone was leaving, you were a bit too busy looking over your shoulder to make sure no one's watching you. And as you turn around, you have successfully cut the painting out of its frame, but you've also quite damaged it.
Okay. How damaged is it?
It could be repaired, but it would probably cost quite a bit. If you try selling it, you're not going to get as much as you could have.
Do I
Why
notice
would
the
you sell
painting in
it?
his hand?
Hmm?
Do I notice the painting in his hand?
This is the
No, he would have rolled up and hid it before he came up to get you guys.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Damn it, Krusk.
we don't know what's happened.
Yeah, we have no idea. We're just continuing on our way up to see Lord Belmont.
And I'm following.
And yeah, so you lead into sort of a room that's got some nice potted plants and a couple of small trees on either side. Before he leads you into another room.
I'm going to stop and admire the plants.
Oh, good stuff. They're very nice plants. If you could smell them, they
People are
would
dying
delightful.
in the.
Yeah,
the
we
town.
have lives to save, Rusty. Let's move.
And
Plants are people too.
Fair enough, but these plants aren't dying.
Let's leave the druids to deal with that, and then we can. Let's find out how we can help in the city.
okay.
I assume it's a door.
So the one, it's actually to the south. Where the two guards are standing, and the Arterius will look at them and go, "These are the ones Lord Belmont are expecting," and the guards nod and kind of move to the either side
It's a trap.
to let you through. There you go. And I will now reveal.
Oh,
Ta-da.
Wait. oh
Yeah.
I looked at me at one point.
Yeah, so
Come on,
walk
it's
us into a sort of room. There's basically a large table in the middle, with a map city in the middle. Currently, you see the dwarf that you had met at the gate, but the room is currently pretty much empty, except from 4 suits of armor that stand posted in each corner of the room. Arterius comes in and he actually looks at you, Rusty, and says, "Would you mind actually sitting at the other side? This is kind of where I was planning on sitting." Nope. Okay. Never mind. Thanks. And he says,
Sitting at the head of the table.
Sorry about that.
"No worries." So you guys all come in and take your seats, and sorry, 1 second. I'm just gonna have to quickly mute myself. I'll be back in 1 second.
Okay.
1, 2. Liar.
So,
Quick, cast fireball on the table.
I
Cross,
probably
steal feelings.
yeah. Cross, you just outside thinking like, how do I steal a plant? Is that the plan?
Oh, it's Cross still not in.
No, Cross is still in the main lobby.
Cross, what are you stealing now?
The heart of a dwarf.
I mean, he did that earlier. He's suitably charmed.
Oh, he's dancing around.
I mean, like, half orc, half dwarf baby would be a really good barbarian.
Wouldn't it be a quarter orc?
By the way, did anyone actually catch Cross jacking off last night?
Araman was watching, so I assume we would have heard screeches and
not.
then
didn't
Krusk
happen.
screaming.
Rusty was also watching, and he did not.
Man, Rusty
Ghost
into
Church
some
watching.
weird shit.
Ghost
God.
Kurt's watching you, actually.
Ghost Kurtz and Grimax are always watching.
Grimax is everywhere.
Actually, if Grimax gets a seat at the table, I think Kurt should as well.
That seems
Okay.
only fair. You got like an angel and a devil for a shoulder each.
That's not Grimax. It's just a very.
What's on these tables?
So on the left side of the table there is a shield, and on the right side there is an axe.
Steal
in the
them.
mid-
Steal
in
them
the
all.
middle, yeah, in the middle there is a map of the city, and as you guys are taking your seats, a familiar face will come in, and you'll see Teral and Tamek, the dragonborn and tiefling who you've dealt with a couple of times, and Teral will sit next to Arterius, and Tamek will sit next to Archie, and eventually two other figures come in. One you will vaguely recognize as being present in the marketplace, commanding some soldiers, and the other one is a newcomer, the one wearing dark armor and a red cape, and he will just sit where Ghost Cards is.
What the hell is that in the top right
What's in the top right?
of
my God,
of our meeting room?
I'm not seeing that. Oh, that's a suit of armor.
No.
Oh, what is that?
Callum.
What is that?
Is that a new character?
Saba's
It's a ghost.
Saba's
It's a ghost.
favourite thing. It's a rat person.
Oh.
Saba, stay calm. Breathe. Breathe.
And
Okay,
event-
you guys are on your own.
These hallucinations are getting really vivid, you know?
It's like I was thinking, can I try and grab Saba? But I guess not.
Yeah. Saba, as you're fleeing, you pretty much bump into another human.
Okay,
And,
was the rat person actually there?
No.
Well, then I didn't run away. Yes, he is way too literal.
Okay, so another gentleman, a young human, comes in and looks to you, Crust, and goes, "No, would you care to have a seat?"
I snarl at him and then lean against this suit of armor.
Just sit on over.
Okay. he kind of grins at you and goes, "I like you."
How
And
much did you weigh, Cross?
quite
Enough.
How
And,
much do I weigh?
Does
Yeah.
the armor like fall over when you lean on it?
I'm assuming it's on a frame. That's
Yeah,
what suits of armor are.
Yeah,
and therefore
it's,
the frame would support the armor and therefore my weight.
Do you want to come here, Cross?
No, I'm fine here, thank you very much. That's what I just said.
Okay. So the noble sits down. You guys will recognize this as Trevor Belmont, and he says, "Gentlemen, we need to discuss what happened yesterday. You guys went to the prison, and then all hell went loose. Floor is yours."
Okay, so Lord Tepes' son sprouted wings.
Well, that's definitely unusual, but doesn't quite explain everything.
Also, he slayed all the guards in the prison himself.
I see.
Why don't we take it from the top with what happened at the prison? So
That sounds like a good idea. Please, Magnus.
So I'll have to stand up to make sure everyone can hear me. So we went to the prison as part of our efforts to free our good friend Terrell, and I'll gesture up to him. from
Aye.
his internment.
He gives you an
Various
appreciative nod.
various stages have been taken. As we entered, we were barred from the gates, almost as if they'd been expecting us. They tried to lead one of our members into the deeper part of the prison. I'll gesture over at Rusty to then try and execute him, whilst holding the rest of us in a holding pattern, essentially. Luckily, Rusty was able to escape the attacks, and we were able to make our way inside, where Archie over here, our criminal, and I'll put speech marks around it, was about to be assaulted again by a proxy for the warden and a few of his men. They seem to have set a trap, was the understanding, including Keep, one of the administrators of the prison.
I've spoken to Keep.
Cool, you talked to him already.
Please continue.
We were able to find a way down to the basement of the prison. It would appear the cult had dealings down there. The Advocates were transforming people from their natural basic selves into these creatures that are some now attacking the city, and one of which we were able to retrieve and bring back to the castle. Archie has a bit more knowledge on the various rituals that took place down there, but essentially they knew we were coming, as Archie was able to break out, and they sprung an attack. They took several of the guards prisoner, told us to hand over some magical swords, possessed swords, if you will. These swords are vital in the process of creating these creatures, so we chose to hold on to them, and the young son, Tepes, was able to then essentially, he chose to execute people and begin the attack on Catarina. He is very much the enemy of all Catarina, and we now need to stop him. He's also been suitably changed. He was able to sprout wings, and even when he was struck with a very well shot longbow arrow, he immediately healed. He's been suitably experimented on. We now need to find the Advocates and eliminate them as quickly as possible.
He also admitted to me that it was his father who experimented on him.
Yes, Lord Tepes is just as guilty as the rest of the Advocates.
I see. And he kind of clasps his hand together to put them towards his mouth and thinks for a moment. These magical swords, you said they're possessed. How?
The spirits
With
of various
the
dragons
spirits of ancient dragons
inhabit them, yes.
I reach up to my backpack and take out my bed. Rusty. And I'll drop the sword on the desk.
Okay. And
I'll show the one that is not possessed currently, but they were planning on putting the soul into this one as well.
Are
And
you
I'll drop
telling
that
me
one.
they have a dragon?
They have a mysterious benefactor,
No.
but we don't know if it's a dragon.
I see. This changes things. Lord Tepes is going to use this opportunity to mobilize the army. Right now, he's pretty much untouchable. We're going to have to figure out some way of dealing with him, but also the other Advocates. I don't know what to do here right now. Any ideas?
Let's deal with one issue at a time. Show us where Catarina is most under attack by the Advocates. They might be centering on one particular area, or they might be looking for something beyond just creating chaos. They may have additional objectives, and I'll point at the map.
Okay. Then just for ease, I will bring up the little MS Paint map I made. So, the main area of attack was roughly in this area. And he points to two sort of areas just south of the prison. So, they must be ready for your refusal to buy into their demands. And
to be honest, they had men planted within the city already. They had no. They were going to attack either way.
We do have a
Likely.
teleportation necklace, which they were planning to use to escape before we took them prisoner. I don't know if it's got a fixed location, but if so, we might be able to use it to determine where their base is.
Should we just interrogate the prisoners?
We do have Warden Zool that we can talk to as well.
Warden Zool's dead. You kidnapped, took prisoner Lucian.
Sorry, we still have Lucian then too.
And Advocate. Well,
Lucian.
And I have his sword again.
Lucian isn't exactly talking at the moment, but from what we got from the others, they were actually willing to give a few days of peace. Apparently, your refusal to give the sword is what tipped them over the edge. We can work this out. If you wanted to speak to Lucian, we'll provide that, and we can talk about how we're going to deal with the situation afterwards. One of my men tell me you've also brought a corpse for me.
Yes.
it's in the guest room.
Thank you.
It's the bed mark, do not disturb.
Wonderful, thank you. I've been looking over the other corpses that you brought me. I'm sure you already know the larger creature, the Wraith, was nothing more than an incubator. Largely, it seemed very hollow. It's all muscle and scale, nothing really inside. The other creatures, from what we can tell, seem to be some variation of lycanthropy. However, somehow trapped in that form. I'm interested to see what this newer corpse you've brought me will reveal, and I'll have Lucian brought to you. Soon as you're ready.
Tell him what you found with the corpse.
Go ahead, Saba. You can take the lead on that one. David?
Sorry. Distracted there a second.
Do you want to explain what we found with the creature's insides?
Oh, the insides were mostly still human, but there was something off about the blood.
I see. Well, I'll have a good look over. Thank you for bringing it to me. A matter of payment. I'm afraid current situation means we're going to have to put all our funds into dealing with this crisis. But Arturi Sterak here, he's prepared to make you an offer, create some magical items for you. Sure that could be of use to you. And also, the coins you gave me earlier, the ancient coins, I had them valued. And 300 gold is what they're worth. And he throws a bag onto the table for you. And he goes, you can share that out amongst yourselves, I'm sure. And
I'll distribute that evenly between everybody before we start fighting.
Glad to hear it. So, what's your next move?
We need to interrogate the prisoner and find out where they're hiding.
Yep, just so everyone knows, that as an additional 42 gold and 85 silver into your pockets.
What? How many did you divide it by?
7.
Yeah, I divided by 8. I'm an idiot.
So take an additional 42. Oh, sorry. Should Xanthi be getting paid from this?
Nah.
It's up to you.
If he takes issue, I'll give him a cut of mine. Okay, take 42 gold and 85 silver each.
Cool.
Yep.
And
what's it called? The Ironbeard guy. Have there been any deliveries? I'm expecting some armor. Might be useful for this coming fight.
Yes, that has arrived. It's currently at my dad's workshop. If you stay here, we'll get to you this afternoon. If not, we can have it delivered to your safe house that Tarap provided you with you.
Cool.
Okay. I'll look over to Asturi Sterak and mention, well, my As you might have noticed, I'm not as well armoured as some of my fellow adventurers here. Perhaps you could help me out with a personal protection gauntlet of some sort. Perhaps one that casts Burning Hands, if you know the spell. Or some way to preload defensive spells into it, such as Shield.
He grins at this and goes, "Yeah, I can help you out with that. That won't be an issue.
I'd like something to help shield my allies.
That can be easily arranged. The rest of you can talk to me in your own time. Me and my sister will work together, make something up for you, and I can lead you to Lucian's holding pen, if you wish to speak to him now.
Yeah.
And we can work something out.
Before we go and talk to Lucian, what other information have you been able to gather, Lord Belmont?
He kind of sighs and goes, "Well, we know that the cult have attempted to make some headway into the northern forests. We've been speaking with some of the natives about the situation."
Yeah, so I've seen the various lizard men, dignitaries that have came through to you. Good.
Yes, unfortunately we're not making much headway there. Cultural differences and the like. But hopefully we can work out something soon. We don't know what they're interested in. They seem to be killing their warriors, but not making much headway into their territory. Other than that, we know from your defeat of the Wraith, the other creatures, they seem to have lost a lot of their driving force. They're acting on base instinct now, which makes it much easier for my men to find them and defeat them. So we've been able to lift the quarantine, and for now. Other than that, I can't tell you much. This cult, we didn't even know existed until 3 weeks ago.
Well, looks like we all arrived here just in time then. That's a shame it all kicks off like this.
You tell me you have swords that these cultists want. Would it be in everyone's best interest if we split them up? If you're carrying them, and that makes you a target.
We've already taken precautions to make sure that we don't have an easy way for them to gather all the swords from us.
Okay.
We found the fewer people that know about our precautions, the better.
I understand. In that case, I should introduce you to my allies. You know Terrell and Tamek, of course.
I give a quick little salute.
Yep. To my left, this is Kyron Renard, captain of the All-In Guard. Dallin Ironbeard, head of the security in Baldur. This is Graves. He's a tiefling who used to be the mayor of Karim until Cain Tepes unfortunately passed away, and he was ousted by his father. And Graves kind of gives you a click of the finger.
Sorry, a click of the finger?
Yeah, he just kind of clicks his fingers together as he acknowledges you.
I'll give him an up nod and say, good to see you, and brother, and Infernal.
He returns a similar greeting, and you hear also Tamek say Infernal and goes, "What about me, you cunt?"
So I'm like, well, I knew he wasn't going to address me as cunt.
And both of them burst out laughing at this, and they say, "Well, glad to have you on board," which he says in Inferno.
Yeah, I'm sure we could do great things together.
Okay, and Arteria stands up, and he goes, "Well, if you'll follow me, I'll take you to Lucian."
Well, we had our best interrogator still.
Sorry, what was that?
If only we had our best interrogator still.
Oh, if only. Right.
I like to think we do a pretty good job of executing justice ourselves.
Executing. Good choice of words. Okay, let's go see what we can do then with Lucian here, and then we can make a move.
Okay. So
it's everywhere.
Yeah, when you kind of Arterius kind of looks down and goes, "Oh yeah, we've been using the space as a practice area." Uh,
You should probably, put those away when you're done with them.
they're wooden.
Doesn't matter.
It's like, you can do plenty of things with a wooden sword, lad.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'll actually message to Archie to not come into the room just yet, and we'll let him know the plan for
Okay.
him dressing up as somebody else. And then I'll probably message, or I'll say to them outside before they go in, because I was walking with them, perhaps we should imply we have other prisoners that they may want to talk to, or that they may want to help free. I, for one, can alter my appearance to look like anyone I've seen before, and we have Archie well equipped as well. We could be plants, essentially.
Do you want to turn into the Tepes son?
I don't know if I'd be able to act well enough to convince them that I'd
We
be
can
here.
just have you gagged, and then chains.
Sure. I'll come in as Magnus first.
If it comes to that, like you can come in here, obviously, then you can just
Yeah, I'll come in first, and if I have to leave,
say
then
goodbye, fetch him, and then you can go out, turn into him, and come
yeah,
back
then
in.
come back in. Yeah, cool. Let's do that. I'll walk in with Rusty and Adorable for now, and let Archie know not to appear just yet, but to make sure his disguise is ready.
Okay.
Anyone else coming in?
I think it's just you two you three for now. As you guys are walking towards, Arterius kind of turns around and goes, I know last time you were given pretty much free reign with Hedron, but this one, even if you don't like what he says, try not to kill him. He could be useful.
It's like, I'm sure. I'll see. Yeah, I'm sure he could be useful, but he may be more useful as a corpse. Less dangerous, certainly.
Yeah, but like I said, let us make that decision.
If he's been abusing magic, the Sigillates may need to take authority here, but we'll do our best.
You don't have jurisdiction.
We don't have any jurisdiction. Remember, that was why we didn't bother. Why we said we weren't going to kill Archie.
Yeah, these men have been committing crimes against nature and against magic. That's well within the purview of certain paladins and the Sigillates. But anyway, we are allies. We'll certainly work together.
Well, I'm sure he will comply, so it'll be fine. Hey, Lucian, thanks for the sword. How are you doing?
Not the best way to start
that. He just side eyes you, Rusty. Currently, his armor's been stripped from him, and he's just wearing simple black garb. You also notice, because you've never seen him without his helmet before, he's an incredibly tall human, very well built with dark hair. And
he's still bonded with his sword, you know.
Is he?
Well, I mean, unless we've done anything to stop it.
Well, I told him to unbond with the sword, or we would kill him, and he said he did. So hopefully, otherwise, he's owed a death.
Yeah. Also, you also notice a small sheen of dark scales underneath his eyes.
From my knowledge, does that suggest anything?
The same as I saw on the eyes of the son Tepes.
You didn't. Yeah, but Tepes's was kind of more reddish. Roll me an intelligence check, Magnus.
I guess while I was doing that, I ask him where the rest of the cult is.
So what you would know is sorcerers who typically have a draconic bloodline typically have a small inkling of scales that are usually quite you can see. There's very similar effect to that.
Okay then. Well.
And to you, Adorable, Lucian just kind of huffs and says, "Why would I tell you that?" Hello?
Sorry,
You would
Callum
tell
there?
us so there's no more bloodshed in the city. Innocent people are dying.
Innocent people are dying, yes. And innocent people will always die.
So surely you should make efforts to limit that instead of taking active part in slaughtering innocent civilians, attacking the city you propose to save. What's made you do this attack? You did.
Let me explain something to you. This organization, this cult, the Advocates, what one leader wants isn't always the same as what another leader wants. Venan, he wants to save the city. He wants this draconic nation. Tepes, he couldn't give a shit about that. All he cares about is making his little dragons.
And you?
And me? I don't know what I want yet. I was just the guy who cleaned up after the Wraith.
So what you're saying is
You're out of a job.
the attacks on the city will stop if we can deal with Venan rather than Tepes.
No, other way around.
You killed Venan. You stopped the only reasonable member in this group, I imagine. Especially now when his wife finds out. She's going to go fucking ballistic. I can't wait to see what she does to you.
His wife?
Yeah, Venan was married to the mayor of Astora.
Oh, that mayor of Astora.
It's like, I'll quickly side eye him and go, I don't know what you think you saw down there. Venan's not dead. He's in a cage as well. We have him for questioning. So if you say he's the most reasonable one, that's good to know. Surely you want to be on the right side of a deal that can be made?
Roll me deception there, because he did see you decapitate Venan.
He got better.
We also have a life cleric on our team.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I never actually rolled my portent rolls. They may be useful here.
That would be a very good idea, yeah.
It's fine. Just say he got better when
Shit.
Lucian
Don't forget your
says,
+1 from me.
Lucian looks at you and says, I saw your man bring his blade to bear on Venan's neck. He's not getting up from that.
You also saw our life cleric. He can do amazing things because he's got righteousness on his side.
So did Venan fought the exact same.
Do you need food?
Yes, I do.
Bring Venan in.
Yeah, I'll make it obvious. I'm sending a message, and I'll say to Archie, let's bring your best disguise in here, buddy.
But be in handcuffs.
Yeah, be bound.
Hey, Sab, handcuff Archie and bring him in.
Yeah, or Krusk, you're big and muscular. You can bring him in.
Yeah, I can do that.
I'll tie that rope round him.
Do we have a Venan token?
Yeah, I can do that. Just
put it over to Archie.
Yeah.
Where am I bringing it to?
Yeah, if you just wander over to where the guys are, I'll bring it over for you.
Okay, cool.
We should probably have him gagged as well.
Okay, archers, just hold your hands out. We're going to put some rope round them, get you nice and tied up, see?
What was the name of the dwarf I made friends with?
Garth.
Which one is Garth?
You look around him, right? None of these two.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Might have to put Archie's token behind Venan.
That's fine. I will just put. A little skull next to him, so we know he's a dead man.
Dead man walking.
That's you, Archie.
Yeah.
Now see, as I go, hello Venan. So we've been told you're the most reasonable individual. We may be able to cut a deal. And I'll look back over at Lucien. I'm sure we could all make a good deal here. If someone doesn't have specific desires they want to achieve, perhaps promise of gold, a chance to go free might be a way to make us work well together. What do you say, Lucian?
Lucian kind of is looking at Venan up and down and says, "Where's the white head?" And just kind of looks to see what Venan does.
I'll ask him. So, what's the white head? Venan's currently gagged.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. I just want to see what he does, how he reacts.
How does Venom react?
How does Venan react? I'll message Archie and just give him just struggle against your bonds and try and make noise behind your gag.
I know.
Lucian kind of
Anyway.
looks behind him at the other cultist with him, and they kind of nod at each other.
Can I cast Detect Thoughts?
They know you've done that, right?
No. It's Charm they know you've done, I think.
Okay. Do you want to put the spell up and see?
Yep, I'll just jump to it now. I believe it's been the latest edition.
That's a handy spell.
It is. That is a lot of detail
That's
there.
a lot of text.
Basically, you can choose.
TLDR.
Mm-hmm.
I can choose one creature that you can see within 30 feet. So I'm going to cast it on Lucian for his surface thoughts. So ideally, I'll catch the look between him and the other advocate.
Okay. So basically, what you get from Lucian is he's very doubtful, but he's planning on using it.
It's planning on using the fact he doubts.
He's doubtful. He's doubtful that you have Venan for real, but he's going to take advantage of the situation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Lucian, as you can see, we're very reasonable here. I'm sure you can appreciate we don't really want Venan with his abilities talking, so perhaps you can be his mouthpiece. Why don't we try and make a deal here? You find a way to help us stop these attacks on innocent lives, and you'll get a reward.
I like the sound of that. I'll tell you
How
what.
would you like your sword back?
Why
He
would
looks
you
at you.
antagonize him?
I would love that sword back.
During Detect Thoughts, can I tell if he would actually like the sword back?
Yes, he would very much like the sword back. He goes, I'll tell you what. You give
I
me
noticed the sword was missing something. Would you mind talking to me about that?
one thing at a time. You guys, you want to save the city. Venan wanted to save the city. I don't particularly want my home destroyed either. So, if Tepes is throwing a temper tantrum, maybe you could take him down a peg or two. I could tell you where his lab is. And you can take it from there, if you catch my meaning.
Is this lab where he was able to concoct the creation process for the various creatures?
Most of them, aye. The one that you saw under the prison, that was more Venan's work. The other ones, the rest, that's all Tepes.
Oh, good. And they're all from a single lab, or there's multiple?
Single lab. The product required for it. It's hard to transport.
Where is it?
You bring me a map, I'll point it out to you.
Detect Thoughts last for another minute. Is he lying?
Not that you can tell.
Don't you have a map
Oh yeah.
that you took from?
Yeah, I can display a map for him.
Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to quickly put the map up,
Yep.
just to show you. So, he kind of shimmies over. His hands are bound, but he takes one of his hands and points and says, "The lab, you'll find it here in the mountains. You're gonna have to go for Kareem to get there, most likely."
Is it here? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much so.
Your ex didn't come all the way off.
That's... there we are.
Cool.
Okay, that could be quite useful. So, just out of curiosity, more than anything, how did you become involved with the Advocates? And is your home in Catarina? Is that how they made contact with you, or have you travelled in?
I travelled in quite a few years ago, but it's become my home since. How I got involved in the Advocates? That's a bit of a longer story, but Sula Fosk brought me on board with my brothers.
Your brothers?
Hidran, Zul, Kaveni.
Are you actually related?
Same dad.
Who's your father?
Yeah, you would know him. Peasant bastard. Dead now. But, bit of a ladies' man. Like orcs.
That's some mighty bloodline you've got.
Thank you.
Did he raise all of you?
Is he human? I mean, is what's his name in front of us? Human?
Yeah, he's a tall human.
Lucian is a human, but when Hidran was half orc.
Half orc, yeah.
Yeah.
So, another question for you.
Yes.
Is there a dragon waiting to go inside your sword?
That was the aim. But this was not my sword. This is Wraith's old sword. I took it when he went nuts. I've not officially been promoted to his position yet.
What?
Where,
I'll say,
if you don't mind sharing, are the dragons coming from?
Coming from? You mean the ones that are currently in swords?
Yes, and also, yeah, just where does one acquire a dragon soul to put into a sword?
That's a bit beyond what I know. You learn more in this organization the higher you rank you are. From what I can tell, they've had most of these swords for centuries.
Okay. You mentioned Wraith's position has opened up and you were looking to be promoted. What was his position?
He is known as the Black Head of the Dragon. There's 5 cells in this group. He was a leader of one.
Who would lead?
Similar to the 5 heads of the chromatic dragon.
That's the idea, yes.
Who would lead us of the rest?
Well,
obviously Tepes.
Tepes is red, Sola is blue, and I'm not sure who White is. I've never met him.
I think it's our friendly paladin.
Why did you ask then, where is the white head, if you don't know who the white head is?
He shrugs his shoulders and kind of laughs. And was like, on the off chance it was Venan, I was hoping you would point me in the right direction.
Oh, seeing as he struggled a little bit, clearly he didn't really know where it was.
What colour dragon is Xantu?
Xantu is a gold dragon. Oh, dragonborn rather.
Yeah.
But he did wear a lot of white armor when you met him.
Alright.
Okay.
Xantu has not betrayed us. Silence those thoughts.
You don't know.
Yeah. As best I can. Well, I'll ask then. So, what were you promised by helping the Advocates? What do you want to gain from them?
We were originally brought on with the. Initially, we were just mercenaries. We took to it for various reasons. Hidran wanted power. Kaveni was happy to have a bit of status. Zul liked to flaunt his authority. I was just looking for a purpose, and they gave me one.
And you believe in their purpose, despite their infighting?
Everything I've seen, yes.
So you and Venan are wanting to create this draconic nation?
I think it would be ideal.
And for those people that wouldn't
I
be
think
able
it's a
to
crime
convert?
against nature.
You would have to tell me about that. Sorry, what was that question, Magnus?
It's like but what about those people that wouldn't want to convert over to being forced into being Dragonborn?
They don't need to be.
And they'd be allowed to live within your draconic nation? Or
And
would you
mine.
expire them?
And mine? Yes, of course.
I'll kind of glance over at Venan and look back at him and go, that doesn't match up with his viewpoint. And I'll kind of glare at Archie.
I thought that was Tepes' viewpoint, not.
Oh, I thought it was
Oh, when
Venan's- I thought it was
yeah,
Venan's
when
viewpoint.
Magnus had
Tepes'
asked,
son.
yeah, when Magnus had asked Venan, oh, so Venan was already dead. When Magnus had asked Tepes' son, Tepes said those unwilling could leave.
Ah, okay, right. I'm just
Yeah.
misremembering then. Okay, in that case, I will not have said the last sentence.
Okay. You're just gonna glare at Archie anyway, just for the shits.
Yeah. I'm still acting like he's Venan as best I can.
While we've got you here, where did the other leaders, all the other cults, hang out?
Normally in their respective cities. I was initially in charge of the northern area, though that didn't go particularly well. Those lizard folk, very, very well defended.
When you
The
say the
rest-
north, was that Xena then, or the
Xena.
temple itself?
Xena, yes, the forest. Scylla was in the south.
So you know it well, do you?
Not particularly well, no. We never really got any far.
I've always wanted to visit that forest.
It's beautiful. If you could survive long enough. Who's bleeding?
That is a weird one. Don't know who's left the wee red marks on the map.
I know who it was.
I lost control of my mouse. I didn't realise I had the.
So Adorable's like cut his hand and just started like flailing with big hand gestures to spatter at everybody.
I didn't realise I had the pen the pen thing on, and then like start clicking around. And it was like, oh, I've made lots of red marks. I might as well keep going.
Yeah.
May as well commit to it.
Should we just go invade this place then?
I think we should
So
try
we
and
kill
get
him.
more information of what's going on with the advocates.
I think time's deafness, brother. We stop.
We do need to actually protect the civilians. That's a good point. Lucian, how about a new purpose?
I'm listening.
Help save lives, stop this attack, and help bring peace to the region of Catarina. We can also stop these.
Brother. It's a bad idea.
If he was a mercenary, all he wants is to be paid and have a purpose. He could have one. But listen, I would need your oath on your life that you are here to save lives, not merely to do as you will.
I'll tell you what. You free me. Give me my sword back. I'll muster the rest of the men that are loyal to me. And we won't overtly help you. But if shit goes down, we can help provide support.
What kind of support would that be?
Well, you've seen what Venan's clerics can do. Other than that, there's a couple of good fighting men.
Is he lying?
Yeah, with detect thoughts, is he still lying? Or, sorry, is he lying?
He's not so much as lying as he would like to. But he's not really convinced himself.
So in terms of his motivation, then, is he willing to at least to try?
Yeah, that's pretty much what you're getting from him.
Do you understand if we did this and you betrayed us, we would be forced to kill you?
I understand that perfectly well. You've bested me twice in combat. Let's not make it a third time.
This seems like an interesting proposition.
I'm willing to offer him redemption.
Everyone's worthy of a second chance, even when they make foolish choices in the first place. I'll quickly message the others that are inside the room and kind of say quickly, what do you think? Should we... He seems to be telling the truth, as best I can tell from detect thoughts.
Are you asking the party?
I'm quickly messaging Adorable and Rusty.
Right.
And, could I also get Sava and Archie in before...
Yeah.
If we wanted to wait 4 hours, I could prepare a zone of truth and we could really get the truth out of him.
You guys have had your long rest.
I need to prepare a spell over a rest.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Right. From detect thoughts, as best I can tell,
Sorry, just Rusty, you can... I'm fairly sure you can change your prepare slots during a short rest, no? Or does it have to be a long rest?
Oh, yeah, it's just a rest, you're right. It's only just an hour then.
Yeah. Doesn't recharge your spell slots, but you can change your prepared list.
Okay, well, if we want to wait an hour, I can get Zone of Truth ready.
Well,
and we can really...
From my understanding, with my magic from Detect Thoughts, he is telling the truth. He would certainly try to act as an auxiliary for the group. He wouldn't be able to directly support us, but he could use his men as extra forces. His issue is he's not confident he'd be able to do it with as many men as he would like to suggest.
And yeah, from Adorable, from your insight, is that's pretty much what you're getting from him.
Okay, so I'll ask. I'll turn back to him and ask. So what's so you're willing to accept that this is your blood oath? If you turn on us or you fail to support us in our hour of need, your life is forfeit.
Yeah, and he nods.
Okay, and you think your men will follow you? And I'll quickly shift detect thoughts onto the advocate next to him.
Okay.
I want to see if he's gonna balk at the idea of not following the cult.
Okay. So Lucian says, I think I could get the vast majority of them. The other ones might scatter to the other leaders, but vast majority aye. And the one directly behind him, he's kind of currently thinking about this draconic nation that Venan preached about, and he's kind of realizing that Tepes going to war isn't exactly what he signed on for, and he's kind of more inclined to side with Lucian in this.
Okay, so I'll kind of go so you seem to have at least one loyal man. How many men can you gather?
I could gather maybe about 30 men.
30 men. And how many men do the other leaders have?
Depends. Sula and Tepes, they have their cult members, but they will also have their military members as well. People aren't part of the cult, but they have genuine authority figures in this city, remember. The Whitehead, I have no idea. And Venan will probably still have some men alive. I could probably get them on board.
Sorry, go ahead, Colin.
What did I miss?
We've been
just after I rolled this insight.
Your insight basically lined up with my detect thoughts. So yeah, he seems to be willing to certainly try to support us, but he doesn't know if he'd be able to get as many men as he would like us to think he could. He can get about 30 men, is what he said, and I assume that's about true. Is that right, Liam?
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah, about 30. and the man next to him is willing to follow him as well.
Okay.
So I'll kind of message, what do we think? Do we trust
What's
him?
the party consensus?
Yeah, what do we all think here, guys? And I'll message you all magically.
Okay, so Rusty, how are you feeling?
Ben, you
Feel like
there?
everyone's-
Are you muted?
Okay.
Yeah, spare him. I say, give him a chance.
Okay,
Okay.
adorable.
Don't trust him.
Okay, Kate.
Kate, are you on mute again?
Yeah, I was muted. So wait for me. Yeah.
Yeah, what?
I was
Just
not paying
yeah.
attention to the specific questions. Yeah.
Are you willing to trust the prisoner?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Saba.
I'm going to give Magnus a look that says, I'm not fully on board with this and I don't trust him, but I will trust your judgment.
I'll give him a thankful nod back.
Okay.
We either spare him or we kill him, I say.
What does Crusk think?
Yeah. What's the naked man's thoughts?
Well, I'm inclined not to believe him and not to trust him. So,
Okay. And Archie.
We should kill him.
Like, Archie, everyone should surely have a chance to redeem themselves, don't you think?
No, kill him.
It's pretty
Oh.
much what I expected from Archie, to be honest.
Fellas, you really think we
I
can?
mean, that's what reincarnation's for, really.
It's like, as best I can tell from Magic, he doesn't seem to want to turn on us. But yeah, I'll just ask him directly. So, Lucian, seems like you might be getting a chance here. You gonna turn on us? And I'll move Detect Thoughts back onto him.
Not willingly.
Okay. And after all of this is done, would you be happy to either retire or take up a more lawful position?
That depends on the type of position.
Let's solve that problem when we get there.
That's all the fun when we get there. But as long as you're not going to become a bandit chief, is kind of what I'm wanting to avoid.
I've done that before. It's overrated.
Good. I'm glad we see eye to eye on that one. I'll quickly look to the party, and because Ross himself has forgotten, I think the consensus was yes, we spare him for now.
It seemed most people were very suspicious of him. Magnus, Rusty were, okay.
I've joined with Magnus now.
Okay. So that's three for
3
spare.
yes. Yep.
2 not very trusting, and 1 kill him.
What's Crusk?
Crust was disinclined to trust him.
Okay.
Okay, so I think that means I'll quickly message the party again. Go like, so we free him and let him act as a distant support for us.
I guess, yeah.
Any direct objections?
Archie,
I object to that. I don't think that's a good idea at all.
there's enough reasonable doubt to not do it.
I'll say my vote there was that I'm not super trustworthy of the guy in the cell, but if Magnus is confident that we can rely on using him, then I will back Magnus up.
Thank you, Saba.
That is a political answer right there.
I'll take
Yeah.
that down to 4
Basically,
yes.
yes.
So it's
Yeah,
4
so-
Yes, yes.
4
In the
yes.
coming fight, we need
We
every
need his help.
sword hand
Oh,
we
yeah.
can
Why
get.
take a chance if we don't need his help?
Well, we do need his help.
We do need his help. There's a lot of other cells that we could maybe do with extra bodies fighting.
And Belmont has mentioned that Tepes is mobilizing his army.
Tepes
Yeah.
controls an army.
Yeah, we might need to gather our own forces to match him.
Plus, if he betrays us, you can just kill him.
Yeah, Crust, he's actually accepted it in front of men of the law, and I'll point over at Arturius and say his life is forfeit if he turns on us.
Dibs on kill.
We
Arturius
get
guys,
to kill him.
we could use his clerics as well. They will be useful in the coming.
See, they can be useful. They want a purpose, now they
If
have
he
one to save
betrays
lives.
us- If he betrays us, then I'm the one that gets to shove the end of my hammer right up his arse.
I will
troll
hold it open for you, Krusk.
That's all Debs.
I will.
Archie is currently
It's
gagged.
That's all
Yeah,
Debs.
Archie has no say on this.
Venon's just struggling in his
being
binds now.
psychically talked to. Everyone is being psychically talked to at the moment.
Yeah.
Archie is currently gagged, guys.
Okay.
Is it stealth, all Debs, all jacked?
Okay. I'll say okay. Well, Krusk, you get dibs to do it, and I'll even set your hammer on fire before you ram it up there if he turns on us.
Okay.
Okay.
I
so,
will allow Archie to help me kill him.
Oh, thank you.
excellent. Good negotiations. Well, Lucian, it looks like we have a
You
deal.
guys should say that out loud, just so the guy can hear you and know his place.
So, Lucian, a lot of my companions here don't trust you right now, but I'm sure you can earn their trust over time. Let's make a deal, and I'll offer my hand. Oh, actually, he's bound inside the cage, isn't he?
Yeah, he's both his hands. He can kind of offer you both his hands at the same time.
I'll give him a handshake with his two hands as best I can, with as much dignity as I can offer a man that's tied up.
Okay, he takes it, and Arterius kind of nods at you and goes, "Well, that went better than the last one."
It
Do you
did.
need your sword?
That would be nice.
I'm gonna take the sword out and hand it to him, and say,
Okay.
"You do have fine taste in swords, I have to say."
Yes.
Keep better hold of them.
I will in the future, thank you. And
Chain it to your wrist or something.
that's a great idea.
Works best with axes, I hear. But anyway, I'm glad we came to a happy arrangement. What? Sorry, I'll just out of character. So, what does Lucian kind of need? He's naked just now. Is that right?
No, he's got like a robe on.
Yeah,
I
he's
see.
basically wearing like a simple black garb.
Okay, I'll kind of look over to Arterius and say, is there a way he can leave without making it obvious he's been here?
We'll discuss that in a bit, but right now we'll keep him here for now. I'm sure that won't be a problem. And Lucian looks at him and says, "Nope, that's fine." And he actually turns around and starts cutting the bindings off his cleric friend.
Okay, well, I'm sure we'll put you to good use, and we can make some good headway in the future, Lucian. We should go back and organise for the attack, or to defend the attack on Catarina.
Of course.
Okay,
Yes.
I'll look around the party. Shall we go back to Belmont, or any other questions in here?
Let's just go kill some stuff.
It's a very orc way to talk. That's good, Krusk. I'm sure we will. There'll be plenty of killing to come. Right.
Right.
Yeah. So Magnus will begin to head back through to Lord Belmont.
Okay. I assume the rest of the party is following.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm gonna mention to Magnus that I'm looking forward to seeing these magical items that we're gonna be equipped with.
Yeah, these will be they'll be very interesting. I'm sure Arterius here will be able to give us some good tools and make even an even better wall to your friends.
Also, can we talk about Isolith?
Sure. Let's talk, and I'll gesture for Adorable to come over and join us.
So, say I had a hypothetical way to summon Isolith to my hand from the box. Would you be willing to consider the possibility that Isolith was in fact not evil?
Well, we could certainly.
How did you get this hypothetical ability? I'm curious.
Hmm?
How did you get this hypothetical ability?
It's a paladin spell that I could prepare.
Could you return it to the box afterwards?
No,
It's a one-way trip. Okay.
it's a one-way trip, which is why it hasn't been used yet. But Isolith was my friend, and I would like to think you guys could get on. The drinking blood thing was literally metaphorical.
What colour dragon was he again?
You don't know for certain.
thought
But
It's
you,
fire.
yeah, so you could, red actually.
So he's Tepes' sword, so he'd be red.
I mean, Tepes really wants his list. Should we really be giving it to him?
Well, it's all the better to use every tool we have in the fight against him.
You've already got a hammer.
It's like, what would you? Why would you want Islith here over your other weapons?
Islith can also offer useful advice, having known the Tepes family for years. He warned against the other sword that you have, Nito, before.
What about Nito? What?
The
No,
what's
sorry.
it?
This is in character. Magnus hasn't been told any of this. It's like, what about Nito? What?
The other sword, the
Staff of Python. You mean the?
No. The other sword we took.
Its name was Nito.
That's name is Nito. Yes, that's a genuinely evil dragon.
Ah, that explains a bit, and I'll look questioningly at my Staff of Python, and then I'll put it on my my back.
Has your staff been talking to you?
Not at all. It's hissed and looked at me. That's the gist of it. And even then, only in snake form. So Islith doesn't want to work with. Islith does not want to work with Nito. Is that correct?
He explicitly warned me against Nito, and said that would be an actual evil dragon that you guys were looking to destroy.
Can he be trusted, though?
Do you think you can genuinely trust him?
Yeah. I genuinely think I can trust Islith.
Will you let one speak to him?
I can. I mean, you can detect my thoughts, which should give you Islith's speech, since that kind of occurs in my brain like that. I think.
If we were to,
and then you can listen into the conversation.
If we were to hold the sword, would we be able to talk to Islith directly?
You need to attune to it, and only one person can, I believe.
Attune at a time. Yeah, that's the a property of most magical items.
Strange.
I
would
believe
be more
you're
than willing to conduit the conversation for you, though.
Yeah, I believe you're very steadfast and you're an upstanding member of the party, Rusty. If you have complete faith that this sword is not going to corrupt you, we should certainly consider it. But I feel there would need to be the same oath as with Lucian. If it does turn on us, or if it does influence you into such a way to turn on us, we would need to execute you as well. Is that, if you're convinced it's a good force for the party, then we have nothing to worry about.
I would take that oath for any friend, whether they be a magical sword, a construct, a ghost, or a living being. I'm happy with that. All creatures deserve a chance.
Bring him here then.
Okay, let's summon him. If you have faith in him, then we can make it work.
Okay, I'll need an hour, and then you will be summoned.
Okay, that'd be good. He can no doubt give us information about Tepes as well. He'll have no doubt hated his servitude to them over the centuries.
He'll probably know quite a bit of the family history. Yes.
Yeah. Just from your previous conversation, do you know if he's been used to create these creatures in the past?
I don't. I'm afraid it.
So I can help you out. That actually did come up. I can help you out there with that. Had
there we go. Then yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You had asked if he'd been used, but he said no. But there was an intention there to do that.
Well, there you go. No, but they had intended to use him, so he hasn't sullied nature by creating these dragonlings either.
But he could be used too. Like any of those.
I mean, Archie was also used.
Yeah,
and
we have many instruments here, many tools, and again I'll look over at Archie that can be used for good or evil. Hopefully we can keep this sword out of the hands of Tepes to avoid any more lives being taken, and it being used against its will.
I'm happy for you guys to converse in an hour once I've summoned him, though.
Okay.
In terms of the ability to summon him, can you do that at will after you've prepared the spell?
Yes.
As long as you're conscious.
As long as I have a spell slot and I'm conscious.
Well, that is good. So even if Tepes does make an effort
Even
to
if we were
reclaim
to
him,
lose, yeah, then he can be returned.
okay. Well, take your time.
So unless
prepare
I'm slain, we won't lose this sword.
Well, let's make sure we do our best to avoid that.
I probably shouldn't weapon bond to Nito.
Not if it's super evil, then. Thank you for letting me know about Nito as well. Clearly there's been a bit of an influence, and I'll wiggle the staff on this staff as well. I'll be sure to watch
And
it
this
for
is out
influence.
of character, but would you wiggling the staff and saying the name Nito in conversation summon the python?
No, it needs to be
Actually-
an act of will, I believe.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, it would have been hilarious.
It would have been really
but you have
funny.
to I think there needs to be an intention there. To unleash it.
I mean, even
Uh,
if you did activate summon it, you could just get rid of it straight away anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah. Then again, it would see
Lucian-
Venin tied up.
Don't
That could be a
worry.
bit dangerous.
Sorry.
It's past
Lucian kind
master.
of overhears the last wee bit of that conversation and goes, "Oh yeah, Venin was a real fanboy of the dragons."
Is this staff his?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the staff was his. It's been claimed for
Why
the
would
sake
he?
of safety.
Weirdo.
Why would he
He's,
use Nito as a command word?
Why would he call his sword and his staff in the same name?
Well, the
He had
staff
the
itself
staff
is.
first. Yeah, he had named the staff after the dragon, and then he got the sword.
Ah.
Bit awkward, I think, but hilarious.
What would happen if you summoned Nito and then showed it to Archie?
I don't think I would really want to see that happen, but why don't we? We could always find out if there's a big enough space.
I mean, there's a lot of space in the training room.
There,
One of the guards kind of looks over you and goes, "Probably not best do that indoors."
maybe. Anyway, we have lives to save. Let's experiment with the staff later, and I'll kind of look
Yes.
over at Saba and go, we may have need of your friend if things go a bit south with the staff later.
Understood. I'll throw Archie at him, and I'll wink.
I'll raise a finger to go like actually, and then just put it back down. Fair enough.
Don't worry, buddy.
Okay, right, what do we want to do here, team? Should we go back to see Belmont, or...
Yep.
Okay, let's go back and see Belmont.
Okay. Then right there, I'm going to call a quick comfort break because it is 10 past 10. We've been playing for 2 hours.
Cool.
Okay, perfect.
Dogs to walk, drinks to have, and we'll pick up in about 5-10 minutes.
Okay, sounds perfect.
No dogs to walk tonight. She's being dog sat.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, I have a dog to walk.
Okay, I'm going to cut the recording now.